Welcome back to another episode of the Keydra Show. Listen to Key. Thank God we're here. Praise God for consistency. Y'all, we have a lot to talk about today. Before we do anything, we're going to talk about cults, basketball wives, colorism, Essence Magazine. Before we get into any of that, I want to take a deep breath. Inhale. Just exhale. Okay. I'm the girl that walks around all day, you guys. Full disclosure, and takes deep breaths all day to just, release. Thank y'all so much for coming back. If you have not already done so, please go ahead and press subscribe and please like this video. Last week, there were 45 of y'all watching. So that means at least 45 of y'all, unless y'all were bots, are watching this video. So if you're a real person, subscribe to my page, like this video for the housekeeping. Thank you. I did my makeup. I must be tired. It's late. It's getting bruised. I've been watching a lot of videos lately about how to contour my face because I want to give snatch. I want to look like I could be in the face category of the ball. I want to give so if you're really good with contouring, and I have obviously a very oval shaped face, it's giving baked potato, like Miss Potato Head, but a cute Miss Potato Head, a pretty Miss Potato Head. If you know how to contour that, leave them notes in the comments. I've been watching YouTube videos, tutorials. I have not got it right, so let me know. Boom. Real basketball wives. Let's talk about basketball wives first. Basketball wives. The season just ended. It was a very good season. I'm not sure if y'all have been catching up with Basketball Wives, but we talked about it in previous episodes. It was a very good season this year. I was very pleased with the cast. There were a lot of newcomers. Brittany Renner was on the show. There's another girl, Jacelle, who just joined the show. I hope I did not butcher her name. I probably did. Great addition. I actually really enjoyed it this season. I didn't watch it before last season. I liked Malaysia and I liked Brandy, but I was very happy to see new cast members on the show. It just brought something to it. But, the reunion aired yesterday. But before the reunion aired, there was an interview with Evelyn Lanzada, who we know was a vet on the show at this point. I think she's been on for all 10 seasons, that she did with Jason Lee. And Evelyn took a break from the show and she came back on this last season. And, she was talking to Jason about colorism, because the last time that she was on the show, was a season with a woman named OG, who was at the time, I don't know if she still is, a professional football player or something, athlete woman, and they got into it really bad. And she accused Evelyn of colorism, and they just got into it real bad. That was when Evelyn slapped her poom poom. I'm not sure, her own. I'm not sure if you saw that clip, but whatever. I'm going to try to put that up here if I can. But anyway, that season rather, that was the last time Evelyn was on the show. Jason Lee and her was talking about colorism, and that really grinds my gears because, what she gave the typical answer of somebody who doesn't want to talk about colorism in the Black community. And as a Latina, I feel like she has a responsibility to, and particularly because she's a Latina in a primarily Black space, right? I don't watch the novellas and I don't watch the Telemundo and all those networks. I just know that she's Latina and she's makes her money from Black spaces. And to come into a Black space and act like colorism is not a thing, when we all know it is. It's in almost every rap song. The rappers are always talking about the red bone, or how, they always bigging up the Latinas and downplaying Black women. It's a very well-documented, well-known issue. So the interview really rubbed me the wrong way, because there was a point when she was like, yeah, I'm from the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. And growing up in the Bronx, we all hang out together, the Black people and the Spanish people. And that's true. That's 100% true. But to act like colorism isn't a real thing, and to say that you can't be colorist because you're from the Bronx, is crazy. Because as someone who grew up around a lot of Spanish women, light-skinned women, it's very much a thing. And I've had friends talk to me about it. Yeah, you know how guys are, they just always prefer light-skinned women. That's just how like they are. I've had family members tell me that, they were raised to believe that they were better because they were light-skinned. It's just irresponsible to go on a platform and act like it's not a thing, and like being light-skinned is not a privilege and a currency. And like, we have not been conditioned and taught to favor people who have a closer proximity to whiteness. So like Evelyn does. So that interview really rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm not sitting here saying that she is a colorist. I'm just saying that it was irresponsible to not acknowledge it and to try to downplay it and say that, oh, because I'm from New York and I'm from the Bronx, I don't know. That was irresponsible to me and crazy. So I politely turned that interview off. But we already know Jason Lee even has issues with that. I used to be a really big fan of his, but I stopped because I was just tired of it just became too silly. The things that Hollywood Unlocked was covering and making up fake news, and it just became like all too silly. So I just stopped following him and don't even really watch his interviews anymore, because they just glamorize a lifestyle that I'm just not interested in. It just glamorizes the part of the internet that I have no interest in. So I kind of just left him there. But I did take, I think there was, when you go on YouTube, and I do watch a lot of interviews, so that came up. So I think I just saw that clip of her talking about the whole colorism thing, and it turned me off. So I turned that off. Speaking of colorism, now let me explain something to y'all. I am the racism police, the colorism police. I will call it out. I call it as I see it. Where I do not see examples of colorism is in the Housewives of Potomac. And I know if you watch this show, you are dragging me, because a lot of y'all feel that way. And I see it in the comments. A girl wrote an entire think piece on this for Essence right here, right? The piece was, writer. Hey, girl. Piece was very well written. I didn't agree with nothing else in that whole entire story. And I actually found it on Twitter, and the girls was like, yeah, she ate. And I just had to disagree, because I think on the House of Potomac, everyone tries to make it this light skin, dark skin thing. And unless I'm blind, please let me know what I'm missing. I am not seeing it. All I see on the House of the Potomac that I watch faithfully is a bunch of women who are out of control on a reality show, making a show on entertainment. And I don't think it has anything to do with race or colorism. Do I think that they all have bad behavior at times and they all do outrageous and say outrageous things? Of course, they're on television. But I don't think it's a colorism thing. The thing that really grind my gears is how folks tried to make the issue last season with Mia and Wendy about colorism, and it wasn't. Yes, Mia threw a drink at Wendy. Was that appropriate? No, that's not nice. I've talked about this before. I've talked about this so many times. Was it nice? No. But Wendy was saying very rude things to Mia. And I think that it's very strange for y'all to think that people can make rude comments and there not be consequences. So someone get a drink thrown at them? Absolutely not. But we're not going to sit here and pretend like there are consequences to actions. We literally just saw a man hop, jump, skip, and fly across, what's it called, where the judge sits? Behind that, and attack a judge because the judge was being snarky, which is another thing that grinds my gears. This person is already vulnerable as a judge. Why are you making snarky comments to that young man that is already in a courthouse, standing in front of you, being sentenced? I hate when law enforcement and people in power do that. It's just so ignorant. And childish. Why are you making the situation even worse by antagonizing someone who you already know is emotionally unstable, because I think he was in there for a lot of violent crime. So why would you antagonize him and say weird things and rude things? Anyway, I digress. Back to Mia and Wendy. Wendy's mouth was crazy. She was talking about Mia's husband, calling him names, coming at their seg life, and she was saying crazy things, and Mia got fed up and she threw the drink. It had nothing to do with color. It had nothing to do with light skin, dark skin, which is crazy. And I hated that you guys tried to make it out like that and tried to make it out to seem like Mia was absolutely crazy because she threw a drink. Because think about Wendy, and I talked about this before, why I'm not a fan of her is because the character that she plays on the show is this, I have all these degrees and, I have the perfect family and blah, 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 blah. And I see right through that. All I see through that is like insecurity. And if you have to continuously throw your accomplishments up there, up to the wall so they can stick, it's giving insecurity, because it's like, what do you have, God forbid, if you didn't have those things? Who are you behind those things? Who are you behind those degrees? That's what I want to know. Who are you behind that prestigious job? That's what I want to know. And that's the person that I would like to see come to the forefront with Wendy. Mia, on the other hand, who's crazy too, but they're on a show. They're supposed to act up. I at least appreciate her because I feel like she's a little bit more vulnerable, honest, and real and raw. That's just how I feel about it. She doesn't hide behind her accomplishments. She's upfront about her marriage with Gordon and how she's, how that's coming to an end or whatever. Did you get with him for money? Well, I might have. That's being honest. How she used to be a stripper, how her businesses failed. Like, that's real life. And Wendy just hides behind, I'm a doctor. I have degrees. I have a perfect husband. I have a perfect family. I could just see through it all. And I could see through all the things with the mama too. I believe that the mom called Nneka's people and said that. I believe that because she's super, as someone who is spiritual, as someone who is Christian, goes to church, there are some people that weaponize the Bible. And, oh no, her mom kind of gives a real strong energy when it comes to that. And I don't disbelieve that happened with Nneka. In the article, in essence, she raises the points that they didn't like them putting two Naija girls against each other, right? Because they're both from Nigeria. I think that's what this whole situation is about when it comes to Nneka and Wendy. I think that the Nigerian community, African community, just doesn't like seeing two folks from their community go at it. I think that's what this is about. It has nothing to do with, and they don't like their community being represented in that way because there isn't a lot of Nigerian African representation on TV. I understand that, but say that. Just say that. Just say, hey, we don't want our people on there acting crazy. The African Americans, the Black Americans, y'all can go on there acting fool, but don't have our folks on there acting crazy. I'm not mad at that. That's cool, but don't make the whole thing about colorism because that's not what it is. Wendy acts up. She acts very pretentious, nose in the air. Candace stresses me out because of the way Candace treated Monique. And y'all always forget that. Candace was running off at the mouth too, really crazy, and got boxed by Monique. Again, consequences to your actions, the thing that you say. Should someone have put their hands on someone or thrown a drink? No. But should other people say, you can't say what you want to say to people and think that there aren't going to be consequences? That's not fair either. You have to pick and choose your battles. You can't do both. You can't verbally attack someone and then when they decide how they want to react, and when they react in a way that you think isn't fair, you get upset and then you want to say it's colorism, and it wasn't colorism. It just wasn't. That's never what the show was giving. I'm not really a fan of anyone on the show except for the Grand Dame. Like, that's really, really who I watch the show for. And I like Mia. Production is funny too. And I think that y'all forget a lot of the times about how production plays. Production is the real villain. The editors are the real villain. And they get y'all every single time. Because when Wendy had the blue outfit on, and I think they were in Austin, and she was dancing and she was doing her runway thing, it was Mia that gave her 2 thumbs up. You know, but they didn't show that. They didn't want to show that. In this last episode, when they had the essay episode, right, where they're talking about assault and everything, I thought it was interesting that there was a moment Mia got very upset. She left, came back, and you know, she was talking, I forgot who she was talking to. I think she was talking to Ashley. And it was literally Mia, Ashley, Wendy standing right there. I think it was Ashley, that's who she was talking to. It was 3 of them standing there. But it was 3 of them in the group. But Wendy and Mia were standing right there in front of the step and repeat, and they were talking. And Wendy was talking to the 3rd person. I think it was Ashley, and was like, what is she saying? What is she saying about Mia? And she's standing right there. It was just so strange to me. The energy that Wendy gives is just so strange to me. It gives like hater. Not saying that she's a hater on Mia. I just think she's just one of those women who just have that spirit and that energy that, yeah, she just carries that spirit and that energy, and I can just see through it. And I feel like she gets it from her mom. Sorry, not sorry. Because that mom is out of control. That mom is out of control. So, yeah, the article on Essence, I'm going to post it right here. Breaking the 4th Wall. Real Housewives of Potomac. Though the illusion of NECA might be seen as a positive step towards representation of darker-skinned Black women on screen, the conflict between I.M. and Osefo highlights a more profound issue. It doesn't. The profound issue is that y'all don't want to see your people on reality TV in a negative light. Say that. And that's it. And that's the end of the episode. There is no bigger issue. That's the issue. And that's fine. Just say that. Because I believed in NECA. And yeah, that might be her storyline. But I believed her. And because even I thought it was very interesting when they were at the pickleball event. And NECA was coming at Wendy and saying what she was saying about her. And Wendy gets up and she's like, oh, and she goes to talk to Mia. You dog Mia every chance you get. Call her names and just are mean to her. Y'all go back and forth with each other. Let me say that. Mia, y'all go back and forth with each other all the time. Now, all of a sudden, you want to leave the discussion with NECA to go talk to Mia. Wendy, stop. Like, stop. But I really like NECA's storyline. I love that. I love her on the show. I hope she finds a new one. I want this time with Wendy to pass, but I want them to keep NECA on the show. I hope that she has something else to talk about besides Wendy, something of more interest, because she's already more honest. I love her relationship with her husband. I love that her husband is a doctor. They're 2 fine, beautiful African people on the show. They look so good together. Her husband is bomb. I love him. I love that she's talking about how she wants to have a baby. I love that. That's honest. Why she got this glass of champagne in her hand? My girl was like, you know, she want the champagne and the baby. Like, it's real. She don't want her lifestyle to stop, but she wants this baby, and she's getting older and she's feeling the pressures of it. That's real. That's honest. We're never going to get that level of honesty from Wendy. I hope they can stay on the show. I don't care. I guess for the community, if I need the Nigerians to want these 2 girls to stay on the show. So if we need them to be best friends, because I don't want y'all starting no petition to get one or the other off. I want both of them on there, and I want them to be able to just work together, because I love having that representation on the show, and they're just so successful and beautiful and Black, and I just love it. I want them there. So yeah, I don't want y'all to be angry and upset about that anymore. And I know that it was unsettling because they were talking about the religion and the stereotypes. I think that sometimes people within a community are more sensitive and vulnerable to the stereotypes about them. And sometimes that we think that they're more damaging than they actually are in some situations. I think that when it comes to this whole religion thing and Asu, and I don't care about any of that. It doesn't make me look at Nigerians like, ooh, yeah, see, I knew they were doing that witchcraft. Like, no, like, no one cares about that. I want jollof rice, and I want to go to Nigeria next year the same way. And I love Davido. He's Nigerian, right? I don't know, but I still love Afro beats, and I don't care about any of that, because there's every race, every group of people has stereotypes, and I don't subscribe to that. And I don't think that that's really, I think that if the community didn't make a big deal out of it, I don't think that that's something that the majority is really going to take away from. But I could be wrong, because there are a lot of ignorant people in the world that feed into stuff like that. So I digress. So I understand that. Do damage control. Y'all be represented how y'all want to be represented. I'm not mad at that at all. But I hope that those two women can come together, because I do want to keep them on the show. And I want to just keep them on and just have there be like longevity. I'm not a fan of Giselle. We know she's boring. We already know what's my girl Robin and Juan are giving us big fake. That situation is crazy, but Robin has made it very clear that she wants to be able to cheat with her man in peace, and she's tired of y'all saying something. She is okay with her man meeting women in hotel rooms. So why aren't y'all? She wants y'all to leave her alone and let him cheat in peace, so she could keep running her businesses, selling her silk line caps, and raise their kids. Every woman just doesn't care, and that is okay. That is okay. I love the grand diamond keep diamond. I love that she turned what was it, triple 20? Not a fan of Ashley. Candace can stay on the show now. She could stay. I was very upset with her after the whole Monique situation, but she could stay. That's all I got for her. I'm not a fan or anything like that, but she can stay. I even love what Candace is doing, and she's being honest about, her health issues, and she had some testing done, and I think there was some cysts found, and then she also wants to have the baby. But I love that she's pursuing her singing career, because it's never too late for you to pursue whatever your dreams are. And I love that she's doing that. Yeah, that's all I got for Potomac. I think people are making things out to be bigger than they are. But read that article. It was very well written, even though I don't agree with anything Shelby Stewart wrote. I have to say that my heart was kind of broken, because this story keeps, you know how the algorithm goes. When you look at something once, it just keeps coming up. A Mississippi woman and her 3-year-old son, I'm reading this from WJTV. This is a news station. I'm trying to see which one. But a Mississippi woman and her 3-year-old son are among at least 6 people who have been missing for months after reportedly joining an online cult in the St. Louis area. That breaks my heart, because, not us joining cults. And I know that people join cults every day, but I think what grabs me about this story is that the girl is young and she has a baby, and there's other women who are in the cult that have children. I looked up this cult leader, y'all, Rashad Jamal. He's actually in jail right now for assaulting children, and I'm thoroughly confused on so many levels of how you can run a cult from jail. But apparently that's what's going on. But the people that are missing are linked to him and his organization. And I looked him up, and I just can't even imagine a cult leader who claims to be connected to God to be in a video with a wife beater on, smoking a blunt. I just feel like if you're called by God, I shouldn't be making a joke out of this. I just feel like you would dress better. I just feel like that wouldn't be your ensemble of choice. Like, you can get a suit from Salvation Army. Like, that's wild. What got me about him is how he opened up the video with Grand Rising. That really triggered me, because apparently y'all know that when someone says Grand Rising, it's giving some BS. Y'all know I live in Harlem. No man has ever walked up to me and said Grand Rising. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's how you know I guess I'm on the right part of the internet and maybe the right part of Harlem, because I have never experienced that before in my life. But I hear y'all talk about it on social media about how Grand Rising, that's obviously a red flag, because people, I think it's supposed to be a positive thing, but manipulators have gotten a hold of it. And that's just they tagline. That's they intro. But essentially, they believe the group is a part of a cult, and they've been looking for them for months. Neighbors reported seeing members outside the house naked, worshiping the sun. Photos were released of the missing people on the Facebook page, referred to Jamal as a self-proclaimed prophet and TikTok influencer. Police say Rasad Jamal is currently serving an 18-year sentence in Georgia for child abuse. Horn Lake police said Berkeley police are now handling the investigation and also got the FBI involved. That's good, because I want these folks to just come home. Just in case there was some sort of human trafficking component to the investigation, Kanice said, who was one of the reporters. They have been in contact with the mother regarding both, and her name is Jarrell German, and the son Ashton. Gibson hasn't spoke to her daughter since last year, just last July. That's the mother. All of this is just out of her character. I just don't have any answers. It's just not her. Y'all, if you know anything, I'm going to post their picture here too. If you guys know anything about these missing people, you know, Black women, Black girls go missing and are unalived at disproportionate rates. We've talked about this before on this channel, and any opportunity I get to talk about it when I learn about a new story, I'm going to talk about it to raise awareness, because I'm happy that this case is getting attention, but there are so many cases that don't. So let's just keep them lifted, whether they come home. Apparently, folks are joining cults at crazy numbers. I had no idea this was a thing. I would not be good in the cult. They would kick me out first day. I don't really like to follow rules or instructions, and I don't like being told what to do. I don't. My grandmother, she told me what to do. Both of my grandmothers, I listened to them. That was the only people I listened to. They guided me right. Aside from them, I'm not really listening too much besides to God, the Bible, and myself. That's it. It may be some, like, you know, nice advice from my friends every now and again. But, you know, what was interesting in this video, in this article, one of the experts was giving advice on how to not join a cult. Because being in a cult is all just about manipulation. And being manipulated, that can come from anyone, right? That can come from a boyfriend. That could come from church. That can come from a group of friends that are influencing you to do something. So yes, cult is the extreme case, but being manipulated is something that's very easy. It's very easy to be manipulated if you aren't connected to yourself. If y'all don't learn anything from this channel, I need you to know that everything is in you. Everything is in you, and to follow your inner compass. You don't need outward validation for anything. You don't need, I'm not saying that you shouldn't seek guidance when needed, but at the end of the day, you seek that and you take what you need from it and you apply it to what you already know for yourself. You don't need outward validation from anyone. God did not choose anyone over you. A pastor is a pastor. That's great. They spread the word, but they're not over you. They're not more important than you. They're not better than you. You have to follow your own inner compass and what's within you. God gave you them thoughts and those feelings for a reason. You have your inner guide. It's your intuition. It's your gut. We talked about this last week. When you get those feelings, when you feel uncomfortable about something, that is God guiding you. You don't need no man named Rasad Jamal that's wearing a beater and a whole bunch of beads on TikTok to tell you anything. It's all in you. You don't even need, no. I would say you don't even need me to tell you, but just know that everything is just all in you. The guy was giving advice on how to handle a loved one or a family member if you do think that they're in a cult, the expert from the story. He said, if you feel like a loved one is in a cult and you're talking to them, don't be argumentative and don't say, that's why you in that cult. That's not helpful, because no one chooses to be in a cult. No one wakes up and says, I want to be in a cult. It's because they're searching for something, some sense of belonging, some sense of something. That's what they're searching for. Nobody wants to be in a cult. So if you have that feeling that somebody's or even if they're in a bad relationship, if you have that feeling that they're being manipulated, don't blame them or be argumentative, because they aren't there because they just woke up and wanted to be in that bad situation. It's deeper than that. So you have to have empathy and you have to have compassion. If you genuinely want to help them, and if you don't want to just kick them while they're already down. That was a word, because some of y'all do that. And take notes. Take notes on whatever it is that they're telling you. If it's a cult situation, take notes on where they go to worship. Take notes on whoever the leader is and what their name is and what their information. And the same thing with someone if they're in an abusive or a scary relationship. Take notes as well. Get to know as much as you can about that partner. So God forbid, if something happens, you can report something and you have accurate information. If someone does go missing, you already have some pieces to the puzzle. And just be supportive. Let that person know that you are an open ear to them, you are a resource to them, and that you aren't judging them, because we've all felt judged before, and we all stay away from people who we feel like are judging us. So keep that in mind when you're talking to them. Nobody wants to be judged, and that's probably why they're in that situation in the first place. So just be open. You don't have to agree with them, but even just being there to listen and just take notes. Be on the other end of that phone like, you said his name is what? Oh, got it. He drive a what's that? A white van. Oh, okay. It has a dent on the side. Okay, great. Write all that down, okay? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of The Keydra Show. Listen to Key. I will be back again next Monday. If you have not already done so, please like this video, subscribe. It was 45 viewers last week. So I know somebody, again, unless you're a bot, someone is watching this. So please like, subscribe. Tell me how to contour better. If you know how to contour for oval-shaped faces that give potato head. Cute potato head. Let me know. Give me all the tips. I love y'all. Peace and light. Thank you for watching.